Okay, I believe we are live. Let's just quickly check that we are actually live on my channel. Just going to quickly check. I think we are. We should be live. We are live. There we go. It says we are. Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the preview live stream ahead of our first leg in Sky Bet League 2 in the playoffs against Notts County. First game is Saturday at 8 p.m. Exciting, lots to talk about. Grimsby game, the fact we've already played Notts twice already, 2-1 on aggregate if you count it in the league. Do a brief overview of the season, get score predictions. If anyone has any thoughts or comments during the live stream, then please let us know. We will talk about it. I'm joined by Scott Garbutt. We've done many away games and home games this season. We're both excited. Hopefully we can all get tickets as well for Notts County, and we will probably know during the live stream as well. So we'll either be buzzing or we will kick off and end the live stream early. But we'll see. Anyways, lots of chat. Come on, you Dons. I think you're in 1-0. I hope so. Anyways, let's get into it. Scott, welcome. Notts on Saturday. You're pretty much in the area. What are you thinking for it?
Wow. Thank you for having me to begin with, Reese. If anything, it's who's going to be the best out of the worst, if you sort of thing. It's best of a bad bunch. All four of us are not going in with great form. Probably Chesterfield are mainly out of the four in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to putting it up against Notts again. We trounced them at home. Really, I remember we were on the way to the Walsall game. There was Notts County fans on the train that day, and they actually said how much we battered them that day, and they had one chance, and I think Goodman made a top class save off his shoulder. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a very evenly matched set up, and I think if any of us do progress, it's going to be probably one of us two to win it.
Mate, I really hope so. And like you say about Chesterfield, they probably, I looked at the bookies' favourites and everything, and they're 5-6 to 1 to win on everything, which is, I think, mental, because they're one of the only teams which is going into the playoffs with momentum, to be honest. Yeah. And that's really what you need. Us, Notts and Walsall haven't really had the best second half of the season, but yeah, I think Chesterfield will get to the final against Walsall, to be honest, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Anyways, we've obviously played Notts twice. As we said, we lost 1-0 at their place, but Alex Bass probably had the game of his life. We just literally couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and then beat them 2-0 at home, which was, I think, deserved as what happened when we played them in Nottingham. What did you kind of make of those two games against Notts County and coming up against them? How can we beat them, to be honest?
We beat them by stopping the balls into Jatta feet, which we did very well at the home game. First game at their place, we struggled really, really badly with that. He was just picking up areas in between Jake Reeves and Joe Lewis, and we couldn't get the ball off him, sort of thing. If you allow him to turn and run at you, we're in a bit of trouble there. But Joe Lewis managed him very well at home. And Matty Palmer in midfield for him, he just keeps the ball ticking over. Doesn't really affect the game that much, but he's in there just to keep the ball ticking over. We just if we stop the pass between Jatta, we've got a massive chance against him. But we also need to make sure that when we do have the ball at their place, we need to use it effectively on the break, and that's something we need to work on, really, because the last few times we've been sucked in against teams away from home, and on the break we're out of our depth a little bit there.
Definitely, and you're talking about Jatta, I remember that insane save that Owen Goodman made. We just need more of that, really. I think just defensively, the way we've been playing in the past couple of games, even against Notts County, we just stop any team really getting into our box, and I think it just shows that we've really got the best defense in the league. I think you agree with that as well.
Yeah, the only problem is this time is we didn't have that threat of McGoldrick against us at home. And he is a massive threat, probably one of the best players in our league. So we'll be interested to see how he is. He's only been back about 3 or 4 weeks, I think. So match fitness might be still not there yet, but he's quality.
He did score that insane goal against Bradford a couple of weeks back when he just came back.
And he did kind of run the show, dropping in that little hole in behind the striker. So we'll have to see if he plays and how long he plays. And Jake Reeves looks a bit revitalised anyway now after that 3-match ban. He looks a bit a bit more in the legs, a bit more energetic. So maybe he might be Sam Hutchinson might be on there. He'll be saying stick on him, maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Sam Hutchinson said. I think he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet, in my opinion. I think the experience that he gives. He's been in playoff matches before with Sheffield Wednesday and everything like that. He knows literally football inside and out, and especially as he scored that goal against Grimsby, I think he gets in the squad. If we have 3-man midfield, Jake Greaves-Smith, and Sam Hutchinson, if he's going to be in that midfield position, then I think that's perfect. Do we go with 3 in midfield, kind of as we played against Grimsby?
Away from home, definitely. I think that in a way they are probably our 3 most defensive-minded midfielders, probably in acceptance Smith for ball, maybe. But them 3 midfielders, it allows Smith to go forward. And I think I saw a tweet earlier on today, and it was Smith was our highest forward player on the heat map on the weekend. So it allows him to go forward, and Sam Hutchinson can just screen in front of the back 3, 5. Let Jake Reeves do what Jake Reeves does, and let Smith do what he does. But maybe at home, maybe we probably have somebody like Maycock in there making them forward runs, which me and you spoke about a lot, that we did miss in that sort of middle period of the season when Maycock was out.
Do you think, I'm going to go on to talk about Omar Bugle, because he came on in the last 10-ish minutes against Grimsby. I don't think he's been the best this season in terms of scoring goals, and as he did kind of when he joined us. Maybe for the away game, do you think he gets in? But then it's tough because Sam Hutchinson played really well. Jake Reeves was playing more forward. I think Brown was decent against Grimsby. He had that chance in the second half, which I think he should have done better. Do we bring Bugle back in, even though people have had good performances in the last game? Like, who do you think deserves to keep their spot and who doesn't?
I can see why Brown's in there at the moment, though. If you've got 3 midfielders like Smith, Reeves, and Hutchinson, all 3 of them get stuck in. They're strong. They want to keep hold of the ball. That's what Bugle's in there to do as well for us. So maybe, having Brown in there that can spark something from nothing. It could be one of them 1-0 smash and grabs, a bit of Marcus Brown brilliance. Has Bugle got a bit of brilliance like that? Not really. He's more of a warhorse centre forward sort of thing. Maybe he might play Bugle up top on his own and not play Matty Stevens. Maybe, but I've been saying to you, my dad, your dad, all season, away from home, we need to have somebody up front with a bit of pace, just on that counter attack. And I hope Jackson might think about that and just, for the first 60 minutes, just chuck Josh Kelly up there and see what he can do on the counter, because we did it at. He did it at Doncaster when Reeves did get sent off. He didn't bring Josh Kelly off, and I thought he would do. He brought Matty Stevens off, which that always gave an out ball for us. Josh Kelly, he's tireless in running. So maybe just that, just to occupy their centre halves, because I know their centre half, Matty Platt, not much pace there.
True.
And he just wants to head the ball all the time. So if you're playing somebody like Stevens or Bugle up there, it's bread and butter for him. So you probably want somebody up there that's going to test him in a different way.
Talking about Stevens, someone put a comment on there as well. What are your thoughts on the strikers? Because Matty hasn't been too good recently. It's an interesting debate. I understand why Jackson starts him because, Matty is one of those players where he doesn't touch the ball for a long period, and then out of magically something, he can score. Obviously, he hasn't been getting the type of balls into the box which he has in the first half of the season, but I don't really know what's gone wrong, because the way we played hasn't really changed, in my opinion. Like, he signed a contract and everything, and it still isn't going well for him. Like, for the Barrow game, didn't do anything pretty much all game, and then one cross into the box and he's in, and he scored a really good goal. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And everyone in the comments, put your thoughts as well, because why has the Matty Stevens drop off happened?
It's dropped off because it's funny, actually. There was a clip that Sky Sports did behind the scenes with Johnny Jackson, and it was about teams doubling up on Josh Nerfield. And that allowed people like Stevens and people like Bugle and stuff like that to be free in the box. And ever since then, it's pretty much turned out that they're going 1v1 with Josh Nerfill.
Yeah.
Keep him that extra centre half in. And if you are Matty Stevens, you're up there on your own. You're not a massive player as such. You're not tall. But if you're occupying 3 centre halves when that ball comes into the box, you're going to be struggling. I mean, I think he's got more chance of scoring at home than away at the moment, just because we keep the ball a lot more at home, and we can press teams further up the pitch and get the balls into the box. But away from home, it's just that little bit of we know until the second half against Grimsby. That's the first time we've been in somebody's half and kept the ball and made them look like they want chasing the ball down. So I just think the doubling up on Josh Nerfill has slacked off by teams, and they're going 1v1 more. So that may be why his goals have dried up a bit, and maybe having Bogle going off to Lebanon and being banned and injured and stuff like that. There's been no real partnership for Matty Stevens since probably Christmas. And most strikers do love a partnership, and he's been chucked in. We had Marcus Brown chucked in, who's a luxury player that wants to keep hold of the ball. And then you've got Josh Kelly every now and then. And then we were playing 3-4-3 and having 3 up top, and Matty Stevens pushed out wide. He's just been juggled around a bit too much, probably.
Yeah, that's true. I think a good thing to do is me and you can go through our lineups for Notts County, because I think there's a lot of opinions, a lot of players who haven't played, which could easily get in the starting 11. And like even people saying Sasu and Foyo, do we see a future of them? We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go with it. Obviously, goalkeeper Owen Goodman, nothing. But 3 at the back, 5 at the back. What are we thinking for you, Scott?
I think it's going to be the exact same as it has been for the last few games. Riley Harbottle.
Let's just talk about Riley Harbottle, because he was insane against Grimsby.
He just loves to. Him and Joe Lewis just love to defend. They love to defend. If they've walked away on the weekend, it's not that we've won 1-0. We've kept a clean sheet, and they love it. But Riley Harbottle, he's got better on the ball as well as the season's gone on, because Oggs was pretty much nailed down that right centre half role, and something's happened. I mean, Oggs has been brilliant. He's 7 out of 10 every game, but Harbottle just took up a notch, and he does help out the back 3. But he will be in the team definitely.
I really hope so, because he brings that mentality as well, which I think is what you need. You need that passion as well. You saw it in the celebrations after Grimsby. So yeah, it's going to be that Harbottle, Lewis, Johnson, whatever combination. Lewis in the middle, Johnson left, Harbottle right. Midfield is where it can really change, to be honest. It's interesting. Do we go 2 up top, 1 up top? We need someone quick in behind. I think Matty can do it, but Newville and Tilly on the wings. What do we think of Tilly as well as a whole season collective? Obviously, defensively he's gotten a lot better, but I think he would have wanted to have more goals and assists.
He's done like last season. He's had a very good start, just started to fade off a bit. Problem with James Tilly, he's been asked to defend a lot more. And if you ever watch us now, it's mainly all down the right. Tilly doesn't go much past the halfway line because he's so scared of what's going to happen in behind him. So he doesn't go as far forward. And then on the weekend, we decided to mix it up a bit and they swapped sides, which was refreshing to see. And that gives them their fullback something more to think about, because they can go either way.
The thing is, Josh Newville is, not to be mean or anything, but he's horrible on his left foot. And it's like, it was frustrating to watch at times at Grimsby, because he got the ball on that left-hand side and he didn't want to go on his left. And it was just frustrating because he never really cuts in and he's not really used to that all season.
He did score one of his best goals of the season on his left foot against Tranmere at home.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly.
Probably just trust it a little bit more. Maybe this week in training, they're probably just getting him to shift it on his left all the time, just to mix it up. Probably, I'm not sure.
And maybe they've done it to kind of just get Notts thinking a little bit as well. Whoever we would have faced in the playoffs, I think they're both happy to just keep switching throughout the 90 minutes. To be honest with you. But yeah, we'll see what happens on then. Ben Spencer put, very interesting with the long throws from Harbottle. Doesn't seem to be working. Hello, Harriet, by the way. She's putting loads of funny emojis. You're meant to be working. So anyways, very interesting with the long throws from Harbottle. Don't seem to be working. I just remember back to Kofi Barmer and they really were working. but we tried it at Grimsby, but then you kind of want Bugle to maybe flick them on. What are your thoughts on the long throws? Because sometimes I feel like when we have them, we don't really have another way of going forward. Sometimes it's just like throwing it into the box.
It's all simmered down since Hippolyte's been out, because he was the one with the long throws, wasn't he? And just a little touch on Hippolyte, he's somebody that we've valuably missed. He's one of the most technical players we've got. But yeah, since that, we haven't really had a player that can throw it into the box as such. It's nice to see our bottle not on corners no more. And
oh my God, that was horrific.
Yeah, and it's also, but yeah, we do. It's nice to have an option of a long throw every now and then, as long as we mix it up all the time. If, like you say, Notts County, Matty Platt, he's going to love everything in the air. There's no point just throwing long throws into there. We need to be a bit more, coy about the way we play against them.
Definitely. Just going through some comments. Anthony Donnelly put, for a team that sits quite deep, home and away. That's true. We don't hit teams on the break enough. Matty would benefit if we could hit teams on the break more. What do you think of that, Scott?
Yes, as long as we've got midfielders that want to do the running. I remember the first few games of the season, we had players, bursting on. They had Hippolyte and Maycock who wanted to run on behind the striker, and they want to get forward. Whereas now we've got a proper robust midfield three, and Smith will want to get forward, but we haven't got blistering pace. You got Nerfil, Tilly, fairly quick, and then the rest. Then you've got looking. Matty Stevens ain't the quickest. Bogle isn't the quickest. So I think we set up to defend, and then the break always comes from a diagonal to Nerfil's side. Yeah. I just don't think Matty Stevens has got enough pace, and I think if we are going to suck it in against Notts County, we are going to have somebody up top with a bit of pace just to, relieve a bit of pressure every now and then.
So what would be the rest of your lineup? So midfield, do you think defensively away from home?
I think away from home, I think you've got to go Sam Hutchinson, Jake Reeves and Alistair Smith. And then maybe 60-minute mark, if it's 0-0, probably switch it up and Smith or Hippolyte, Maycock maybe. I just think we've got a fairly young squad really. And having Hutchin there as well is going to help it out massively for everybody.
Definitely. Let's talk about Grimsby a little bit more. Much needed win, much needed momentum to get inside the playoffs. It's interesting, like us and Walsall were one of the teams, well, the two teams that have dropped off massively. And then we both win on the final day. Notts obviously lose to Doncaster, and Chesterfield get in there by I don't even know. They just got in at the last game of the season. What was your thoughts on Grimsby, especially the second half? Because I think the players showed what they really can do in that second half, and they showed what they did in the first half of the season.
Yeah, Wimbledon showed in the second half against Grimsby what Port Vale did against us the week before. Just coming out, higher press. The midfield were 5 yards up. All the midfield were 5 yards further forward, and suffocated them. And then every time we had a chance, we'd win the ball back and have another chance. And it's the best second half we've had since probably Bradford at home. And we needed that. And I think, the coaching staff will say, look, that second half there, that's what you can do. So we need to just do that again. You need to, or just to touch on it as well, 3 minutes in, it could have been a whole different story.
Was it the cross or the header?
Yeah, the free header in the middle of the box. But luckily we got away with that, because it could have been a whole different story. But no, momentum going into it, winning is massive. And, like you say, the press was so much better. And that helps Stevens out then. When the pressure's so much higher up, it allows Stevens to be a bit more free and a bit more, getting in between the centre halves. Yeah,
definitely. Will Duncan Smith said, reckon we will reach Wembley. Too soon to ask, maybe. But I am confident for Notts, just because, yes, we lost to them early on in the season. But as we said it already, we've played very, very well. And if we can just replicate that and do the exact same thing that we did in the home game as well, because we just shut off Notts the whole game except from that Jatta chance in the second half. Scott, can we reach Wembley? Are you confident? I know you don't want to jinx anything, but
no, I don't.
Are we the better team going into this, like mentally, physically, squad depth, and everything like that?
Squad depth and physically, yes. You look at Hippolyte, Brown, both coming back from injury, massive. Well, I think we haven't even got a first team player out injured now, have we? James Ball's back as well.
I think everyone's
we've
available.
got probably a full strength squad, and it's a good headache for Jackson to have. I just think they've got Notts County have got a couple of individuals that can just turn it on, and so have we. But it depends if ours want to turn up or not. I think Jody Jones might be back for him as well.
I believe so. Yeah, that was my next question. I was going to talk about because the last time we played them at home, yes, it was a brilliant result, but they did have Jody Jones out, David McGoldrick, and they've come back and they are doing well and they're showing it. I think Josh Newville's. I was about to say Josh Newville's better than Jody Jones, but they're probably on the same caliber. But yeah, it's just as you said, playoffs. It's just a lottery. It can go anyway.
I think it's going to come down to the fans making the biggest noise. If we can take 1,800 like we're meant to be doing on Saturday, make a massive noise, get behind the players, and then the same again at home. I think us having the home tie second is massive this time.
Huge.
Absolutely massive, because they just we make it so hostile for teams when the fans want to and when the players want to. It's a lovely atmosphere to be a home fan, but for an away fan and an away team, you don't want to be Jatta when he's running towards the south stand. Put it that way.
Definitely. Talking about fans, obviously the ticket situation has had many different opinions. I think it's a good thing to touch base on because a lot's been going on. Do we think it was the right way to go? Obviously, fans with 10 plus away games get priority, but then you look at the two Colchester and Gillingham games, they sell their tickets on their own website, so those two won't count, which a lot of fans went to. So it's a bit of a shame that a lot of people are probably stuck on 8 or 9. Scott, you're in that position as well, and you've bought free tickets on the gate, so you would be over 10 anyway. What are your thoughts on that? And is it frustrating? Because obviously Wimbledon put an email out today saying that if those tickets don't get sold that have already been taken up, then they will go on general sale, which kind of makes it feel like the interest has gone above the allocation that we've got from Notts County.
Yeah, I've said for ages there needs to be something put in place for stuff like this. There's other teams. There's my cousin's a Coventry City supporter, season ticket holder. They have a point system, so every away game you go to, you get a point, or something like that. Like England do it as well. We should have something in place for this. Whether it starts next season or something else, it needs to start rewarding the fans that go to away games. Like I know I've bought 3 or 4 on the gate, but there should be some form of way of going to the ticket office when you're at a home game, showing the ticket that you bought to go into, for me, Newport and Port Vale, to name 2 of them, and show the ticket and say, look, can you put me on? I was at the game, this. Can you give me 2 points or extra? Because the problem is nowadays, like you said, Gillingham and Colchester have done that, and there's people that have gone and they can't do it. So there needs to be some sort of point system as such.
I think Wimbledon did mention it like a season ago that they were going to do something, and then it just never came to fruition. It's a shame. I don't know if they think there's not going to be enough interest for away games, but then when it comes down to games like this, the people that have gone to the most games will miss, which they should be going. It's like, for example, you've gone to, I don't know how many away games because you've bought on the gate. So let's just say 14-ish.
I think I've done like 12 in total with the
Newcastle. So 12, 13, whatever it is. And then someone could have done, I don't know, 9. And then you're in that position and then they could have got a ticket and you haven't. So it's just a little bit stupid. And someone just said, Ben Spencer, I was literally about to get on it. So happy days that you're saying that. Feels like it's stupid how Notts haven't even given us the physical tickets yet. It's already Tuesday night. Yeah, the game's only on Saturday, and we can only pick them up as well, which is not that much of a problem. But yeah, I was a bit shocked that Notts County's that they haven't even given it to us, and they knew the game was going to happen on Saturday afternoon. What are your thoughts on that, Scott? Because I think that's a little bit stingy. And in the away game, do we give them a lower allocation because their away end holds like 5k?
Yeah, because they've only given us 18,000, which I'm pretty sure you meant to give 10,000, 10%.
Yep.
And what does their ground hold now? Is it
I
something
think it's 20k, so they should have given
Yeah.
us 150 more. So
Yeah, but I suppose that 150 is probably Sky cameras. I don't know. But yeah, why not? If we sell out, why not? If there's enough home fans to go to the game, sell it out for us. Give them a small allocation.
Yep.
This is what it's about. That's what home and away is about in the playoffs. That's why we've managed to get the 5th place. We're at home 2nd.
Yeah.
We should turn around and say, right, you can only have 800 tickets. We're going to absolutely jam pack our side, make it more in our favour.
And then what also we can sell blocks in the away end for home fans as well. So we got 4 sides of the ground, yellow and blue, which is, you see that a lot in the playoffs. There's reduced allocations, more for home fans, and yeah, as you said, we deserve it because we're 5th and everything like that. So I think literally give them what we give to MK, 700, 800 tickets, or 10% of our ground. What is our capacity? 9,300. So it's like 900 tickets, even though we can't sell 500 because it's like block view and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting. Okay, that's ticket news done. Someone put, how fast do you reckon the tickets will sell out for the home game? Not long at all. They will be gone like a flash. Every season ticket holder and the bench holder will be there. So I'm sure it will be sold out pretty quickly. And I hope there's not empty seats like there always is, Scott.
Yeah. I mean, it's mainly the season ticket holders that don't go that just don't bother selling them back to the club or anything like that, though, isn't it? And then that just brings back onto the ticketing situation. Maybe, surely Wimbledon have some sort of data to show that the season tickets that have been used. If there's a man or a woman who's going to the game on Saturday who's only used their season ticket 4 times, got in the ballot, and now they're going Notts County, and they've only been to Bromley away or something daft like that.
Stupid.
They go out of London.
It's stupid, isn't it?
You know, it's going to be a bit of a piss take, shall we say? So, yeah.
Definitely. Let's talk about the other playoff game, Chesterfield versus Walsall. Interesting because Chesterfield came in on the last day of the season. They brought that momentum in. Walsall won on the last game of the season, which could big them up a little. Chesterfield are the least favourites to go out and win the playoffs, which I think is a little bit of a shock because I think they will reach the final, in my opinion. Scott, what do you think will happen in that game?
Is it Walsall are at home 2nd, aren't they? Chesterfield are at home 1st.
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. Chesterfield at home 1st.
Like I say, Chesterfield are coming in with the momentum. Walsall have been very poor. I didn't rate them much. The away game. Obviously, they scored a free kick, which our Ward side part out the Red Sea. But Walsall I've said many times, Walsall have got 3 or 4 really good players. Jamie Jellis in midfield. Lakin, obviously, formerly of us. He's always played quite well for him. Gordon, the left back. So they've got some good players. But then you look at Chesterfield, Dobra, Grigg, Paddy Madden.
Yeah.
I can see it being a goal fest.
Definitely.
I can see it being a goal fest.
Who do you think will reach Wembley, though?
Chesterfield. I think Walsall has gone. I think Walsall have gone. And if anything, if we got to Wembley, I'd rather play Walsall, to be fair. But yeah, I can't see it. I think Chesterfield are just going to have too much. Great manager as well. So yeah.
I think Chesterfield are beatable as well. I mean, in the away leg, in the home game at Plough Lane, it was no one really seemed like they wanted to attack. Both teams seemed like they were happy for the draw, but away from home, it's kind of the same as Notts County. They scored a decent goal, but then we hit the post twice in about 10 seconds. Yeah. Had loads of chances. Definitely beatable, I think.
Yeah. Well, we just didn't get out of the traps first 10, 15 minutes against them. And James Tilley, that was when James Tilley was probably having his worst game at left wing back. He was just found wanting the first 10, 15 minutes. They got a goal, but second half, they were right in front of me, and it was just like, why is this ball not going in the back of the net yet? A bit like Port Vale and the Port Vale game. Port Vale away and Chesterfield away were two of the best away performances of the season, and we got nothing out of it, which is quite upsetting. But if we had that performance on Saturday, luck will be on our side, I'm sure.
Definitely. Harriet said, "Do you think Johnny Jackson will get fired or sacked if you don't get promoted?" I'll say my opinion first. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, he's improved us after the first season. Like we finished 9th, 10th last season, could have got inside the playoffs. And he's improved us again. He's got our best finish ever in League Two. It's tough. I really don't know. I'm gonna leave it down to you, Scott.
Yeah, I'll deal with the difficult ones, mate. It's fine. It's the best squad we've ever had. If we had somebody like David Artell in, are we champions by now? I'd say yes. I think the only thing that's made us probably progress more season is the first team coach Dave coming in.
Yeah, definitely. Dave Reddington, yeah.
Yeah, he's massively helped us. We just don't look very threatening sometimes. And we've got probably some of the most threatening players in the league. You put Brown, Stevens, Nerfield, Tilley, Hippolyte. All these are very threatening players, and we don't see much of a threat. So, yeah.
So, what do you think's gone wrong in the past couple of games? Is it the players? Is it tactically? Is it Johnny Jackson? What
I think
has
it's a
gone
mixture
wrong?
of everything. I think the players have just started to feel a pinch a bit. We were. I think I remember me and my dad said December time, we are the best team in the league. We're the best footballing team in the league.
I agree.
We were in the pub after Port Vale, and the Port Vale fan came in. He says, "You are the best footballing team we've had this season." And he knew that we absolutely battered them at Vale Park, and it's just annoying when you look back on it and think, I just think the confidence is gone. I think Jackson's leadership, like the Ian Holloway thing, went up against Swindon, he changed it up. It's experience. Port Vale, both average in the first half. Darren Moore, experienced coach, comes in half time. Get out there, lads. Play miles better than you have done because it's poor. John Jackson's gone. Average half, lads. Keep it going. And he's maybe just been found wanting a little bit in that sort of aspect. So I would I think if we don't go up, I think he'll probably get the boot.
I do agree. Gary Fletcher, my dad, watching it downstairs in the living room, he said, would you take a 1-0 defeat away? Think I would still be confident if it did end that way Saturday? Obviously, I probably wouldn't take a 1-0 defeat away in the playoffs, but the fact we're back at Plough Lane after that and we already lost 1-0 to them and then beat them over aggregate in the league makes me a little bit more confident. Maybe it scares me a little bit that we haven't been scoring a lot of goals recently with the players that we've got as well. And that they could easily play in League One, quite a few of them. So maybe that's a worrying factor. So if we get smashed in the first leg, we are done fully. I don't see us doing anything at Plough Lane. What do you think about that? Would you take a 1-0 defeat away?
Wow, it depends how the game's going. If we are getting absolutely battered and it's we ain't had a shot on goal all game or anything, they've had Goodman's made 5-6 really good saves. I'd say I'd take a 1-0 win at the end of it. But yeah, I want to go there, probably even sneak a 1-0. Yeah. Or I'll take a draw back to Plough Lane any day of the week against them. True. Any day of the week, because I just think at Plough Lane it's just a whole different ball game when the fans are on side. And yeah, I'm not listening to you, Dad. We'll take it.
That's the best idea. Never listen. Mike says, I heard that Bull told Jackson to F off, and that's why he isn't in the squad. Sounds like there's some tension. Yeah, if you believe that or not, it could easily be true. But James Bull did put on his Instagram stories like a photo of himself, and he put, "I'm ready to play." So yeah, there probably is some tension. I quite like James Bull, to be honest. I think he's actually done all right this season, and I do feel a little bit bad for him, but it's just a fact we've got so many good midfielders.
I was shocked to not come on against Doncaster away when we went down to 10 men. I mean, I was he was calling out for him as soon as, Jake Reeves has gone off, Sam Hutchins is not in the squad. It just screamed out for somebody like him. But he's picked Maycock. Maycock was the legs that day, so argue.
Exactly. Someone said T4MPRR. We've already kind of touched it on earlier on in the season, earlier on in the live stream. But he said, "What do you think is the reason for Stevens and Bugle's poor attacking performances recently?" Bugle, I think he just kind of likes to stay in midfield and battle it, and then when he gets forward, he's absolutely shattered. Stevens, not getting enough balls into the box, probably, as you already touched it. You can probably say the exact same thing earlier about the Josh Newville thing. So yeah, I'll let you say that bit again, Scott, to answer it.
Yeah, basically, I just said that Josh Newville was getting doubled up all the time. Now he isn't, and Matty Stevens has got 3 centre halves to cope with all the time. So you can't do it all on his own, can he? So,
No.
and like I said, partnerships as well. Football's on partnerships and stuff, and there's been no partnership there. Be interesting to see the stats on who's been playing together the most this season. Actually, probably would just be Bogle and Stevens, but last 6 months not really played heavily together.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to touch on kind of like a mini season review. If you just don't think about the playoffs, think about where we finished. Obviously, it is the highest ever finish Wimbledon have had in any league. Obviously, been in League One before. 18th, I think, was the highest that we finished, or something like that. Good season, in my opinion, but it's just a fact that this league has been so poor in quality, and we could have easily got promoted. Like the 3 games that we bottled in a short space of time: Barrow, Swindon, Doncaster, we were 1-0 up. Yes, we were down to 10 men, but we still played well. Newport earlier on in the season, that 2-2. Accrington, we were 2-0 down, brought it back. Games we should have won. We could have easily got promoted.
Yeah. Like, it's just it is start of the season. If somebody says you're going to get playoffs, I think we'd all just snatch our hands off.
Yeah.
But Christmas time, you're going to get playoffs. You'd be like, no, I don't want that, because the way we were playing, it just showed a team of champions as such. I think us and Port Vale and Bradford were the 3 best teams in the league. Doncaster, I didn't rate Doncaster really, home and away really, but they've gone up as champions. So fair play to them.
True. I've got written down promotion would be huge for us. What would it mean for us to get promoted? I mean, in a way, if we do get up to League One, it's probably going to be one of those seasons where we will be fighting relegation. And I've only been a Wimbledon fan kind of since we got promoted up to League One properly. And that's kind of all I've ever seen. So this season's been really enjoyable, just to kind of, you don't really have to, you can relax a little bit in a way, because we are a very good team. I do worry if we don't get promoted that a lot of our players will leave. The likes of Josh Newville, he'll probably go. We obviously won't get Brown again. Maybe even Stevens, even though I don't think he'd do that great in League One, in my opinion. What do you think of that, Scott?
I think financially, if we don't go up, we're going to be in a bit of trouble for a few years.
Yeah.
But you look at League Two next year, it's poor. Very poor, really. Probably one of the poorest League Twos ever been. If we did go up, I think you keep the team how it is. A couple of signings. I did mention it earlier to somebody. I said that if we go up, the players we've got are well equipped. We're well equipped for League One football. We just need a couple more, players that can spark something.
Trusting Craig Cope.
Yeah, I think we've got the best centre half in the league, and I think we've got 2 of the best wing backs in the league.
Yeah,
simple as. And in Marcus Brown, he got promoted with Oxford in League One. So
yeah,
you've got players in there that are, we're well equipped to go up. We've just added a few more players, but I think financially, if we don't, we could be stuck with League Two football for 3 or 4 years.
Mate, I don't really want that, to be honest. And I was also looking, because of your location of that you live up north, you must be buzzing about next season if we get promoted.
Oh, won't go 20 home games. It'll all be away. No home games at all. I'll just go to every away game. I think the furthest I have to travel would be Plymouth.
Yeah,
I think that's the same for most people. But
it's going to be Plymouth and Exeter, isn't it?
Yeah, but then you've got Barnsley, Bolton, Rotherham, Huddersfield,
Lincoln.
Lincoln, Doncaster.
Doncaster.
These are all within an hour on the train, so absolutely beautiful for me. Yeah, Burton. That's 10-minute drive for me. That's absolutely fine.
Oh God, exactly.
Yeah.
SC Gamer put evening, guys. Great listen. Thank you. Really fancy us in the playoffs. Yeah, I think everyone does. We all know how good this squad can be. I say it every time we lose. It's frustrating because we've seen it in the first half of the season that we are a bloody brilliant football team. And when we actually get the ball down and play, I think we're the best team in the league. And Scott, you said that as well.
Yeah.
Do you think we're the favourites for this playoffs?
Bookies don't have us as favourites.
Who do they have as favourites?
I think they've got. I think it's Notts County as favourites. Then us, then Walsall, then Chesterfield. Yeah, I do. I just think it's Wimbledon, and it's just something we'll end up doing. We'll just do it the hard way. We'll go and do it the hard way. We'll probably draw 0-0, 0-0 penalties, 0-0 penalties.
Yeah.
That's it's the Wimbledon way probably.
If that's the way to get promoted, I don't mind it.
Yeah, wow, my ticker mark though, mate. No, I do. I fancy. For me. It's either us or Notts County. Simple as. If we beat Notts County, they've got players up. They've got Jatta, McGoldrick, Jones, and Platt. You've got a very good spine there, so we need to. If we knock them out, we're well in it.
Perfect. Hugh said, "Hi guys, what are your score predictions for both the home and away legs?" Okay, interesting. I'll go first. If we can keep them not from scoring in the first leg, that would be very good because not someone. I think every team that finished in the top 7, they've all had poor areas of the season, but then one random game they'll just turn it up and smash it, and you've just got to have that luck that hopefully the first leg and the second leg isn't the game that Notts County turn up. We all know the quality that they have. I'm going to go 1-0 win, smash and grab at Notts County. But you want a good performance. You want to keep the ball and everything, and you want to play some decent football. But defensively, we've been solid all season. So go 1-0 at away from home. I'm going to go the same, just a nice 2-0 win at home, 3-0 in aggregate. And yeah, get to Wembley and then hopefully get promoted. What about you, Scott? Score predictions? I hate saying score predictions, but it's got to be done if we get lost.
1-0 away and we win 1-0 at home.
Yeah. Simple as that.
2-0. Simple as that. Marcus Brown, goal from nothing on Saturday.
Yeah.
And Matty Stevens penalty the week after.
What do you think about Marcus Brown? Do we think he's one of the first players on the team sheet for the playoffs just because he's had the experience? And I mean, it really frustrates me sometimes with him. He gets forward and then slows down and doesn't do much. But then you see Barrow, he did that out of nowhere. Colchester was a really good goal. What impact does he have with us on the playoffs? And do you think?
He's the only player that we've got in our squad that can do something out of nothing. That is the main thing. Just think sometimes it's back to Stevens again slightly. When Brown is running forward, you need that one striker with a bit of pace just to turn, you get one of the centre halves pulled out, or make a run or something like that, just to open it up probably for Brown a little bit. That's why I was probably eking towards Josh Kelly starting on Saturday, really, just for a bit of pace up front and something else. But yeah, very luxury player. He's a luxury player. He can do something out of nothing. But yes, sometimes he does hold on to the ball a fair bit and he could pull our air out. But you know how special he can be.
Exactly. Mike put Joe Pigott is going to score in the playoffs. He's still due his moment. Don't know about that one. I mean, I feel bad for Joe Pigott. I mean, we're just talking about every single player now, but I don't mind that. Joe Pigott, when he signed, I thought he was going to be really good for us this season. It's a bit of a shame because I know how good he was at his first time. But you know what they say, never go back to your ex. So, yeah, stuff like that. What do you think about Joe Pigott this season? I mean, he just doesn't look at it. Like the goal he scored at Cheltenham away, that was pure, perfect Joe Pigott as he was back when he was with us a couple of seasons ago.
And the one at Crawley, but I just think his legs have gone. His legs are completely gone. He's a 6'4", maybe 6'3", 6'4" striker. He doesn't head the ball. So it's hard for us when every now and then we chuck the ball up there. He doesn't hold it up. Hence why Bogle and Stevens have always had the nod. So, yeah, I can't say anything because I think he's been absolutely atrocious this season. I think he's been absolutely atrocious. I think he's probably a nice bloke. I think he's got a bit of the Wimbledon crazy gang banter in there and stuff, but he's just not for us.
Exactly. For everyone watching, we will end the live stream soon in probably about 10 minutes time. So everyone in the comments, get your kind of final thoughts on Notts County in the playoffs. Huge moment for us. We want to get promoted, obviously, financially and everything like that. Like 10%. If we get League One, I think our fans will have some financial problems with the cost of the trains and all for away days. Yeah, that's true. But that will be the decisive factor of who's going to get the next playoff tickets, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Have we got an email from Wimbledon yet? I haven't been really checking my phone. Let's do it. I don't think we have. I mean,
somebody would have put something, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we have yet, as of yet. But Wimbledon sent that first email like 10:50 or something on that day when they were released. So that's very weird.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get into the final thoughts of Notts County. I'm confident. I say every week, I know how good this squad can be. If they turn up, I think we maybe not easily win the playoffs, but comfortably, I think we will do well. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'm gunning for us like I've done all season, but it's just that it's the hope that kills, isn't it? It's the hope that kills. If we turn up like we did, we just need to forget about the last 10, 12 games and just think about how we were at the start of the season. You know, the Tranmere away, the Port Vale away, even though we lost, you know, them sort of performances that we put in. Bradford at home. You need to think about all these ones against top opposition that, you know, Donny at home. You got to think. You need to think about them ones. We can't sit back and think about Swindon away and Morecambe away and Barrow at home. We can't sit back on that. We need to think about the good performances we've had. Yeah. And hopefully, you know, the coaching staff can point them out and show us what we've done before. And Notts County at home, if we can put any sort of performance in like we did against them at home, I can't not see us getting to Wembley.
Definitely. Ben Spencer said, so we've touched on it before, but he said, if we dominate them physically, we will be okay. Pretty simple, in my opinion. And he also just said, we always seem to be better against teams that come to play us and not sit back. Yeah, that's a good point.
100%, yeah, we've said that a lot, haven't we, this season? When teams want to come at us, that's fine. It opens up for us when we get the ball. We can be very, you know, devastating with it. But teams that come and sit in, Bromley done a number on us this season, both times in the league. They knew what they were doing, sit in, do us on the counter. But Notts County aren't going to do that.
How do you think they'll set up?
I think they'll set up the same as what we do with a 5-3-1-1 sort of thing. Probably McGoldrick can be on Jatta, 5 at the back. But we just need to make sure we're hitting inside the wing back and the centre halves. We can't be hitting balls direct straight up to Matty Platt, because if that happens, you know, it's just going to come straight back to us, and then it's going to be get the second ball from McGoldrick and, you know, Palmer if he's playing.
They have threat. They do have a lot of threat.
They have threat, yeah. So
Alfie Edge said, just praying McGoldrick doesn't thunderbolt it from 30 yards out in the 95th minute to score a goal. Yeah, just hoping he doesn't do that Bradford finish, because that was immense. Definitely.
I just think that, like I said to you earlier on, if Sam Hutchinson does start, Sam Hutchinson is going to be literally, you know, touch tight to him all game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be who's the fittest of the two old boys. Simple as, really. You know, the older statesmen. Both got massive experience, and McGoldrick can do something out of nothing. But if Sam Hutchinson starts, he'll be just there, stick to him like glue. And that literally he'll probably get hooked at 60 minutes because we won't be on the ball, because Sam Hutchinson will be in his back pocket. So
yeah. I just really hope the players don't feel pressure in the playoffs. Like Sam Hutchinson said in his post-match interview after Grimsby, he was like, we don't feel any pressure anymore because the league is done. We finished in the playoffs where we were aiming to at the start of the season, and now they can just go and not like relax, because it's going to be intense and everything. Like the atmosphere is going to be buzzing in both games, but they like know they've successfully done what they needed to do to finish in the playoffs, and they can now go and show what they can really do. Do you think?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what our if we're going to be going up to Notts County early Saturday morning, the players, and just relax and everything. I don't really want to see the team coach leaving at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I won't mind the boys getting there early, just settling down, take it in a little bit, because this is where one of the players is going to stand up and be counted for, and something out of nothing can happen. But the boys need to relax. They need, and then also we're going to need players like Hutchinson, Reeves, Johnson, that experience, just to help these young lads that have never really been in that situation before.
Yeah. Johnny Jackson is back on the touchline again. Yeah. What do you think of that? Because the one game he's sitting in the stands, we've gone and won.
Well, maybe. I think he did it at the start of the season, a couple of games. He did go and sit in the stand first half. So maybe, like I think the Tilly and Nerfel thing on Saturday, maybe he was sat up in the stands and seen that maybe swap him over, see what happens, swap him over. Because I think the first 2-3 minutes it was set up Nerfel right wing back to your left wing back. So maybe chuck Johnny Jackson in the stands again and just see if he can watch from above and see what happens. I know there's a fair few managers that used to do it a fair bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
it's not a bad idea.
Just might work.
Just let the coaches do their bits on the touchline. Yeah, everyone, get your score predictions in for the last couple minutes of the live stream. Gary Fletcher, here we go. That's a long paragraph. What do we make of the Hutchinson interview when he said Saturday, we know what happened internally? Do we think the powers that be club wanted playoffs for money reasons? Do we think the club wanted playoffs for money reasons? Possibly. I mean, apparently you get more money for winning the playoffs than finishing in the top three. But then it's just the fact of if we don't get promoted, then we are financially done, I think, as Scott, you said before. Yeah. So, interesting about that Hutchinson interview. What do you think, Scott? Do you think the club wanted playoffs in the end over automatics?
Well, it will probably explain the complete drop-off of all the performances.
Yeah.
But are our players some sort of players that just turn around and say, no, we're gonna chuck it away this time? I can't see it really. I hope that's not the case, because within them 12 games we could have been champions if we, So I hope that isn't the case. But I can see why. If they have said that, I can probably see why. But so much insane about stuff going on internally. Like you say, as James Ball had a bit of a row, as certain things happened, No, we don't know. We're just fans at the end of the day. We're supporters of the club, and we'll support the boys no matter what. But if something has happened like that, we can't help it. But obviously things might have changed. The whole ethos of the team might have come back together. That second half showed that. So hopefully we can continue what we did Saturday and push on now.
Well, let's finish it on a positive note. As we've always said, Notts County, first leg of the playoffs, Saturday, 8 p.m. Hopefully a sold-out allocation. Hopefully us two are both there. We want that. Yeah. We want to go to Hooters and everything, and blah, blah, blah. We want to stay overnight and everything. So we'll see what happens. Ben Spencer, cheers for your time, lads. Was a great listen. Come on, you Dons. Thank you. Appreciate it. Scott, one last thoughts. Notts County on Saturday. What do we do? What do we need to do to get a victory on Saturday? And then we'll do score predictions again and end it off.
Basically,
inspirational speech, please.
Yeah, Sam Hutchinson isn't going to be playing the ball much, nor is Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis is going to be touch-tight to Jatta all game. Sam Hutchinson is going to be touch-tight to Sam Hutchinson all game. And Jake Reeves is going to spur the whole team on and do what he did last time in the playoffs. And we are going to be having a party back in Wimbledon on Bank Holiday Monday.
Right. Score predictions for the first leg only, because we'll probably do another live before the second leg, and a goal scorer. I'll go first. 1-0 Wimbledon. I put a bet on it because Riley Harbottle is 125-1 to score from a header, and he hit the bar against Grimsby. So I've put that on. So it's going to be 1-0 to Wimbledon. Riley Harbottle with a header. What about you, Scott?
1-0, Marcus Brown. Something
There you
out
go.
of them.
Love it. Well, Scott, thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone that came and tuned in for the 54 minutes that we've been live. All I'm going to say is just get behind the lads on Saturday and for the second leg. Even if it goes wrong, who cares? Just let it be what it will be. Get behind them. Don't think about what's happened in the past 12 games before Grimsby. And yeah, let's just show the boys what the fans can really do. And hopefully the lads can put on a good performance on Saturday evening. Perfect. Scott, thank you for joining us and everyone else. See you all in Nottingham on Saturday.
Fingers crossed.